Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News. As we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches, the BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Welcome to ExtraMile Arena. You see the Broncos on the court going through their stretching, their warm-ups. We are 48 minutes away from tip-off. Mountain West action. Fresno State Bulldogs visiting the Boise State Broncos. This is a quad 4 game according to the metrics, so it's a game that you have to win. You don't get a lot of help from it unless you win big, but if you were to lose, it would be devastating for their postseason hopes. It's kind of one of those ones where you got to just take care of business, and it'll be the same again on Saturday. But as we bring in Abe Jackson, you'll hear him and Bob Beeler on the call at bottom of the hour here in about 17 minutes with the pregame show on 670 KBY, top of the hour for the broadcast. Scary game you got to win, a game you should win, but it's kind of one of those ones where you just can't trip up tonight.
Right, and all the numbers say that you're going to win with how Fresno State scores the ball or can't score the ball. And Boise State's been taking care of business of those games in conference. They've been taking care of business in a big way, and that's part of why they have such a high ranking is because they're not only beating the teams they should, but, I mean, they went on that winning streak of 4 games or so, winning by a minimum of 15. So you do that again tonight, and that's quad 4 will help a little bit more than if you just beat them by, 4 or 5.
But this Fresno State team, I mean, I mentioned it's quad 4, but they had a really impressive win over UNLV. They've already beaten New Mexico as well. Now, both of those were at home. Their only 2 road wins this year, I believe, are Bakersfield and Irvine. They haven't done a lot on the road, but they do have the capability where they've beaten UNLV and beaten a New Mexico team that Boise State knows how good they are. So, I mean, they do have shown they have a little bit of talent.
So they have some athletes that can run around, and any team can get hot, and that's what happened against New Mexico. Fresno State averages 61 points a game, and they scored 71 against New Mexico, and they won by, I think, 3 or so. So they have the ability to get hot, but if anyone remembers Fresno State from last year, they had a guy, Orlando Robinson, who's now, I believe, with the Magic, I think. Someone might have to correct me out there, but he's an NBA player. This is basically the same team for Fresno as it was last year without Orlando Robinson. So definitely took a step down, and you can see that in their percentages. They don't score a lot. They can't shoot the ball very well. They shoot 28% from 3, and they get out-rebounded and outshot. So all the numbers are saying, now we've talked about that before, that sometimes they don't matter, but all the numbers are showing that Boise State should handle this.
So Fresno obviously likes to slow it down. They're one of the slowest teams in the country in terms of tempo. You mentioned they don't score as much. Does Boise State try to speed them up a little bit and really push the tempo, or is this going to be a lower scoring game here?
Well, I think that it probably will be a lower scoring game just because the way Fresno plays, you're not going to get as many shot attempts unless Boise State shoots, 50-55% from the floor in this game, which is possible. We've seen them do it. But I don't think that Boise State's going to slow it down because you don't want to have your game dictated by the tempo of the other team. You want to try and dictate at least your tempo. If they want to walk it up and take 28 out of 30 seconds every single time, then that's what they can do. But that's not going to be what Boise State does. They're going to try and dictate it with their own tempo.
A little bit of developing situation, I guess. We've yet to see one of their better players out there on the court, Abe, warming up.
Yeah, Isaiah Moore, I heard that he might be out of the game. But nothing is for certain, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
But we haven't seen him warming up, and that would be a big loss. I believe he's their leading scorer, right?
Yeah, 12 points a game. They have about 4 or 5 guys that average about 8 to 12, so it's not like they're losing the 20-point score. But still, when you only score 61 a game and you lose 12 points, that hurts.
Abe Jackson is the voice you hear. You'll hear him with Bob Beeler coming up in about 15 minutes over on KBOI 670, the radio color analyst for the Broncos, as I said, along with Bob Beeler. The game broadcast just after 7 o'clock, again, 670 KBOI for that. And we appreciate, as always, Abe kicking off our pregame show with us for all of our pregame shows, home and on the road. And, Abe, we were both down in Albuquerque the other night, just an unreal atmosphere at the pit. One of the better ones in my 10 years that I've been covering the team. Where is that rank for you and for folks that were just watching it on TV? I don't think they got a sense of what that was like, and how do you think the Broncos handled the atmosphere?
Well, I think they handled it fantastic, but I'll say that it was probably a top 5 game, maybe even a top 3 game that I've broadcast over 15 years. There have been a couple other ones. There was, I think, a 4 or 5 overtime game at San Jose years ago. Lashard Anderson was the point guard for Boise State at that time. That was up there. But you talk about the environment. You talk about the quality of teams, both probably NCAA tournament teams. And what I liked about it is that it didn't just come down to one play, other than, the play that did win the game. But the big-time players for each team were making big-time shots the entire game. You had Degenhart with the 3, Degenhart with the and 1, Mashburn Jr. hitting jump shot after jump shot from 15 foot, so hard to stop. The big guys battling inside. The atmosphere that was there, it was a top 3 or top 5 game that I've ever called on the radio. Unfortunately, the Broncos did come on the short end of it, but you just want to talk about a quality basketball game to be a part of. That was pretty cool.
And Leon talked about a lot of the signs and positive things to take moving forward, and I thought one was Tyson Degenhart emerging as a go-to guy. 28 points, had the 3 at the end of regulation, had the and 1 in overtime with about 20 seconds left. Down the stretch, he took over that game, and I think that's a big sign moving forward.
It's a huge sign because everyone looks at Marcus Shaver to take those big shots, and they should, right? He's hit game winner after game winner for the Broncos. But Degenhart's got to be that guy too, and he showed that at New Mexico. But another thing that I liked is that the execution down the stretch at New Mexico, especially when they had 4.2 seconds left, and there was a perfect pass from Degenhart, a perfect catch from Najee Smith, then a timeout, 3.8 seconds. And then just a perfect execution of the play. You can't draw it up any better than that. You have a veteran team that made smart plays and executed and didn't let – you talk about a setting being overwhelming. The Broncos could have been overwhelmed numerous times at New Mexico, and it never showed.
Well, how, as a player, though, to be that close, go to overtime, be that close to a double overtime, be that close to your biggest win of the season, biggest win of what I would have called, one of the bigger wins of the Leon Rice era, probably, given – you would have been ranked if you had won, the crowd, all that stuff. You're so close to everything, and to let it, I don't know, slip away is the right word, but to lose that game in the heartbreaking fashion you did, how hard is that as a player to put that behind them tonight and not let one loss become 2?
Well, it sucks for 24 hours, but that's what this team's so good at. Even if they had won that game, it would have been awesome for 24 hours. And then they would have come here and started preparing for Fresno State that they're playing tonight, and whether you win or lose that game, that has no effect on your preparation for the game today. So you feel it either good or bad for 24 hours, and then you have to move on. The good teams are the ones that move on. There's 30, 34 games in a season. You can't get really high and really low with every single win that happens. You learn from it, you look at the tape, and you move on, and then you have to prepare for the next game because it's probably only about 3 or 4 days away.
Well, final thing, Abe, you look at the Ken Palm numbers. They got Boise State winning by 14 tonight. I think the point spread is about 11 points or so. You mentioned a similar team without Robinson. We talked about their tempo. What are going to be the keys for Boise State winning this one?
Well, I think Boise State needs to shoot a decent percentage because the way that Fresno State holds the ball, there's just not going to be that many attempts. We've seen Boise State before with their offensive rebounds and creating turnovers be able to survive a 32, 35% shooting night because they get so much bulk shots up. But in a game that's going to be slow-paced, you can't really shoot 32 or 35%. The Broncos have to knock down some shots.
Abe, as always, appreciate your time, man. We'll be listening to you and Bob here in about 10 minutes over on 670 KBOI. Have a great call. Hopefully you guys have a lot to cheer about. And by the way, I have the video when I was my seat across from you at New Mexico of Tyson Degenhart's shot. I should have put it up here and played it. You kind of went for the hand-out fist pump or grabbing the table or something. Bob went for the Bob had both hands in the air. I'm watching Degenhart, and I look over, and you guys got into that shot. Was some emotion there.
Oh, it's just reaction, right? You have no idea what you're doing when a shot when you're down 3 goes in to take it into overtime. So I'll have to see that, but I think I do. I'm more of a fist out type guy than above the head.
Yeah, you were. I don't know if you were grabbing the front of the table or what you were doing, but he had the hands up. It was a nice reaction there, but hopefully it's a easier one tonight where you don't have to have a a massive reaction like that at the end of the game.
That would be nice. That'd be nice.
Appreciate your time as
All
always,
right.
Abe. Thanks,
Yep.
man.
Thanks,
there he
BJ.
is, Abe Jackson, color analyst for the Broncos. Again, you can hear him and Bob Beeler coming up in about 10 minutes over on 670 KBOI. Hey, go download the new Bronco Nation News app. We're going to have John Mallory joining us here in a couple of minutes. We'll talk with him as we get set for this one. But go download that app, the Bronco Nation News app. It's available on the Google Play and App Store, and it's free. We'd appreciate you for doing that. We'd also love for you to check out Bronco Nation News on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook or on Twitter, we cannot take all of your suggestions. We cannot take your comments, so the easiest way is on YouTube, youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. Go ahead and subscribe. We would love to have you on there, and then that'd be the easiest way for you to comment on the broadcast, and you can set up a little notifications thing so you know when we're going live. Hey, we're broadcasting from the Cutwater Spirits mobile studios. They have more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. Make sure you pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. 15% off the interior painting of your home if you use that promo code BNN15. That's right, BNN15 gets you 15% off the interior painting on that promo code. Lithia Ford of Boise. Lithia Ford of Boise is paying top dollar for used cars and trucks. Even if you don't buy from them, it's all done in 3 easy steps. You can share your vehicle information online. You can make an appointment, get a cash offer from the appraiser while you wait, hassle-free, on the spot from Lithia Ford of Boise. And, of course, we've got to give a shout-out to Idaho Central Credit Union as well, ICCU.com. We appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News, and I was in there today, but talking to some folks. Love ICCU. It's so easy to get the check cashing and the things done that way. And, again, the mobile e-branch online banking, make the switch today. You will not be disappointed. Lithia Ford of Boise. Do you see that the Broncos have left the court? You got Fresno State warming up, and John Mallory going to join us here in just a couple of minutes. As we're about 38 minutes from tip-off as Boise State is on the court warming up. 38 minutes from tip-off as we're set for Boise State and Fresno. We got some comments that we can read as John Mallory gets ready to sit down and join us here. John Mallory, welcome, man. How's it going, man?
Oh, thanks for having me, BJ. Another, obviously, basketball game tonight at the Extra Mile. You're looking good.
Appreciate you, man. 3 to 6. You can hear this man every day with Mike Prater, Mondays through Fridays, KTIK. Johnny, by the way, I remember last game you put the sticker on my my computer. Well, I didn't realize until I got to, where were we last? New Mexico, that you had moved the sticker to the mixer here. And I'm sitting there in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I look down and there's a KTIK sticker on it. So there is now a KTIK sticker on the Albuquerque press table because I took it off and put it on there.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, you know, so you're a good friend to me, man. I shouldn't, putting drinks on your tab. Are we
gonna go there? Are we gonna go there?
You got my 20.
You got my $20, man.
I took your gas discount once because you're one of the only phone numbers I know. I know his phone number. And I typed it in when I was getting gas, and I got 10 cents off my fuel. So I took your fuel discount.
I wondered why the next time I went, there was nothing left on that.
That was me. So, yeah, I'm not a very –
Never offer to buy John Mallory a drink and then leave your tab open because you're going to come back about 10 minutes later, and you're going to overhear him ordering a drink and saying, put it on the Reigns tab. Yes. And then he says, I'll give you cash. Don't worry. And as he's walking out, he hands you a wad of cash, and you think it's the $20 he owes you, and you look, and it's two $1 bills.
$2.
That's all right, man. You do a lot for me. If Karen Raines was the one that was maybe a little more upset than I was, but
she was. She didn't like you. Your
she
wife
texted
was
you
mad at
asking
me?
for the 20. No, I wouldn't say
no,
mad.
she didn't text me.
I had one drink that night, and somehow my tab. We were celebrating the birthday of John Anderson, our good friend who's walking back here. It was a fun night, but I had one drink, and somehow my tab was $50, man.
Yeah.
You and Colin took full advantage.
And your
of that,
wife wasn't. I'm
sorry,
Karen.
It's no
just
problem.
having fun with him.
Logan Byler coming down to the game now. Perry says, "Let's go." Jay says, "Love BJ, the stat guy, talking quadrants. More statistics, please." Johnny,
Wow.
what do you make of this game? Obviously, it's a quad 4 game, so it's not necessarily going to help you on the resume. Maybe if you win by 20, it helps the computer numbers a little bit because you're supposed to win by 14. But obviously, a game you can't afford to lose tonight.
If you lose, is this what they call a trap game, I guess? What are you looking ahead to? You got Colorado State on the schedule.
Yep.
I mean, they're not.
No, it's not a trap game. It would just be a bad loss.
It would just be a tough loss, bad loss, and this team has had a couple of those the last couple of years, but not too many. This team I feel like it's dialed in. I think it's a coming out party which I shouldn't say that because he's been good all year, but Chibuzo Abo, I think he goes ballistic.
He didn't
tonight.
play very well against New Mexico.
I think he's going to be hot tonight, BJ. I think Buzo's going to lead the way, and it's going to be fun. And, it's Max.
Get that a little closer.
Sorry, bud. I'm almost at the point now with Max where I'm expecting, he's going to have, double digits at halftime, right? Those expectations, I think, are there, where I don't think we're going to be surprised when Max drops 15+, right? I think we're there. Things you want to see, if Fresno's really good inside and they're big and long and athletic, that might cause problems defensively for Boise State. I feel for Tyson Degenhart, man, having to play the 5 this year and get those tough minutes.
He had 28 points, hit two huge shots against New Mexico.
Yeah, he's great at it, but I feel like there's a lot of gas there, and you burn a lot of it having him do all that. But he's playing terrifically, and you take they're favored by 12, BJ?
I think so.
This should be one of those games in this stretch. I think you need the next 3. I really do. That loss last night, I'll bring it up. New Mexico in Nevada.
By the way, one of the officials in that game that made the call, Vern Harris, will be here tonight.
Oh, Vern's here tonight?
Yep.
I love Vern Harris. One of my favorite officials in
we also have
in the country.
The Bill Clinton ref, Eric Curry.
I like the Bill Clinton guy, too.
He'll be here as well.
He was doing, big-time games over the weekend.
Yeah, he does some Big Ten games, and he does some other games, I
think that's where I saw him.
You'll recognize all 3 officials tonight, folks. Tuesday night game, usually you get better officials. But Vern Harris involved in the call at the end of the game, and then double overtime.
I was going to ask you about that game last night. I thought it was terrific, but if you were a Boise State fan, what helped the Broncos more? Was it Nevada winning, or would it have been New Mexico winning? If you're watching that from a Boise State perspective, BJ, how do you think that ended up?
I think it was better for the Mountain West, better for Boise State.
Better for Boise State
to have both teams stay about the same than have one drop further down. Because if New Mexico, we got the firing up the crowd here. If you would have,
that was loud. That was loud, man.
Where's Joey Jenkins tonight? Who's up with that guy?
I haven't seen Joey for the last couple games. What the heck, man? Joey, get down here, man.
I think he raised his rate, and they didn't want to meet it.
Probably so, dude.
Well, but
he's busy collecting another award or something.
We love Joey.
Yeah.
No, I think that if Nevada was favored, so Nevada should have won. So if Nevada would have lost, I think you would have seen Nevada drop further down.
Okay.
So I don't know, just say it's 30 and 31.
So
you might have had Nevada drop to 36. The fact that Nevada wins, New Mexico only dropped 1, they basically stayed the same. So they kind of held serve where they were at in the rankings. And I think both teams staying even was better than maybe one going up 1 or 2 and one going down 6. You want to keep both those teams close to 30 so it can be quad 1 for Boise State. So I think it probably worked out the way it should have, a home team winning.
Okay, that makes sense.
What'd you make of the call in double overtime?
I thought it could have went either way. You thought it was egregious?
No, I mean the only thing is you could have, if you wanted to, argued that Udeze got fouled first before he swung the elbow. They were kind of going for the ball. You could maybe say that the reason he swung is because they were hacking him. But I have no problem with the call. I mean, if you're going to call that, with 15 minutes left in the game, you got to call that with 15 seconds. I mean, Richard Pitino wasn't too happy because he thought they were going to get the ball. And if he doesn't call timeout and they just play that out at the end of regulation, they probably never go back and look at it.
Yeah, and they were up 5 in the first overtime, and then that stuff.
A couple of times it seemed like.
I thought chances. New Mexico gave that away. Good for Nevada. They're scrappy. I'll tell you this, I'm more confident that Boise State could beat Nevada on a neutral site in Vegas come March than New Mexico. So I'm for whatever path that is for the Broncos to be able to win another Mountain West Conference championship. I think you want to be on that side of the bracket, BJ. Obviously, you avoid San Diego State, who's number 1, and then 2. I think you want to avoid New Mexico. So
no doubt about it.
I'd rather play Nevada if I was Leon Rice than New Mexico.
Hey, no doubt about it. Hey, we'll get a live look at warm-ups here shortly when Boise State comes back out. We'll take your score predictions. We'll take your comments. First, want to thank a couple of our great sponsors. If you're looking for a new job, how about becoming a truck driver? Transcomservice.com can help you with the permits and the things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. From the Amazon truck in your neighborhood to the big rig and you see on the screen, check out Transcomservice.com. I'm going tomorrow to check out Dr. Minor, Boise Dentistry Co., 906-1255. Find a location near you. Full family dentistry. BoiseDentistryCo.com. Looking forward to checking out Boise Dentistry Co. and seeing Dr. Minor tomorrow. United Commercial Insurance. By the way, Johnny, make sure that seat is saved for Jay Tust. That is Jay Tust's seat next to you there on the right. United last game we had a little issue with that, and I was told to make sure that Jay gets that seat.
Okay.
United Commercial Insurance, 229-8222. If you're looking for business insurance, check out UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. They can write policies in 44 states around the country. Make sure you check them out. Ridley's Family Markets. Go download the new Ridley's app. Shop Ridley's.com. Find the location near you. The new Ridley's app. You can have big-time savings. Ridley's Family Markets. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. And again, we'll show you the warm-ups. We got more to come when Boise State takes the floor here in just a moment. Get those score predictions in. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll get to those here shortly. But free shipping for any order over $40, theblueandorangestore.com. Check them out, the Blue and Orange Store. Free shipping. You can also go to the second floor there of the Boise Town Square Mall. And Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, the #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt Bauscher at Bauscher Real Estate. And Johnny, I was out at Timberstone Golf Course today. I got a private lesson.
Nice.
And I was talking to Tad Holloway about the lessons. He said, hey, man, we're going to give you enough lessons that by the end of the summer, you're kicking Prater's ass.
That's the goal.
That's the exact quote he said.
You're going to beat Prater.
Me and Prater will have some sort of golf match by the end of the summer. I may have to take on Mike Burns, Tim Duryea, some of the coaches maybe as well if my game can improve enough. But that is the goal, to be able to take them down. And I had a nice lesson, man. So anyone looking for your golf game, head on out to Timberstone Golf Course, play timberstone.com. It was awesome with the TrackMan. They tell you your speed, your rotation, all that cool stuff, and it was a lot of fun. We see Mr. Whiting over here, Trent Whiting, the father of Jace Whiting. Looks like he's in attendance for this one. So the
played overseas for a long time, played at Utah, played at BYU. Those Whitings, man, like all they do is basketball, from what I've heard. Like mom coaches dad,
the BYU
brothers, the
team,
sisters, like
they got the court in their backyard.
It's just they are just a baller family, and I think Jace Whiting, I think he's way ahead of schedule for me.
Yeah,
I was even thinking he might redshirt.
I did
this
too.
Year, right?
Yeah, I did too.
And all of a sudden, he's going to be 6th on this team in minutes, and he's going to get tremendously better because he's not going to leave the gym, and he's going to grow, and his game will evolve. And I think 2-3 years from now, Bronco Nation, Jace Whiting is going to be a tremendously popular player in this building, BJ. And heck, it could be tonight. Just kind of waiting for that Whiting 4 or 5-3 game, and who knows? Maybe it is tonight. If Boise State can get a lead, he might get a lot of minutes.
Boise State taking the court. We'll get to some of your score predictions. Kevin has 72-63. We got Broncos by 15. Kurt Blake's got a 19-point win, 77-58. Perry's going 78-58. Our friend Jordan Morales says he has his BNN shirt under the jersey tonight, so he's rocking the BNN shirt. We appreciate that. Let's see what other comments are coming in here. Any injuries to report? Don't believe so. Looks like everybody is out there and good to go that I can see, so that is a good sign. When are we getting the free throw competition between us? Somebody wants a free throw competition between us. I would gladly take that on. Mallory is a mooch. No truer statement tonight has been said.
I'm really not, though, but
Perry says we lost to Fresno a couple years ago, and remember, that was a horrible loss that actually ended up maybe being the game that kept them out of the NCAA tournament a couple years ago. They had a horrible loss to Fresno in that makeup game at the end of the season.
Oh,
you remember that?
That was tough.
Because of COVID, they made them bring the game back, and no one thought they should have had to play it, and they did. It meant nothing, and then it cost Boise State the tournament maybe.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Yeah, no question. Like Fresno, these guys beat New Mexico. It's one of the great unsolved mysteries of the Mountain West for me this year, but it actually did happen. This Fresno State team beat New Mexico, and I want to say that game was in Fresno.
Yes, Fresno at home has beaten New Mexico and UNLV.
Yep.
Their only road wins this year, though, are Bakersfield and Irvine. Yeah. They haven't done much on the road.
It's one of those things for me, man. It's just if Boise State plays well, they dot their I's, they cross their T's, they execute, they do what the coach writes on the dry erase board there in the locker room, they're going to win this game.
Jacob's dream is to have drinks with us sometime, man. Can you make Jacob's dream come
I don't know, man.
If Jacob's buying, we can probably make it happen, right?
Yep.
We can probably make that happen.
Well,
He's also got
mooch,
68-57 is his score prediction. Brent's got 76-61. We got a final couple minutes, and we'll get out of here before we break any rules.
Big shot shaver.
That was the game that Abu, as Jordan remembers, hurt his shoulder that game. Was out for the rest of the season.
Yes, yeah, didn't play in the tournament. Good one. Yeah, that was a tough loss, man. Maybe Kobe Young gets some good run tonight. You know, he's had some big plays this season.
He has.
There's
He
Tyson
has.
Degenhart.
How about Sada and Ganga? Can he get some run tonight?
Gosh,
Can
man,
this
you
be
forget
the Sada game.
Here's what's crazy. You forget he's on the team. Think about that. You forget about him, and he's one of the highest prize recruits that Leon's ever had. And usually high prize recruits in the Mountain West, you play year one. You're ready to go. It's kind of odd that he's not, and he can't crack this rotation, but it's a tough rotation to crack.
I think tonight Sada hits a three, does a couple things. I think Sada gets in there tonight.
I'm looking forward. I want to see the kid play.
I think you're probably right on Jace Whiting because I think this is a game where Marcus Shaver may not play as much.
What
did you make about his comments yesterday about the injury and things?
He was down and out, man. That was a Marcus Shaver Jr., if you guys haven't seen that presser, you should go back on BNN and find it.
It's on our YouTube channel. Yep.
He looked depressed that this season he wasn't going for him the way he hoped because he's been, hampered, to say the least, with injuries, man. He's been held up. And I felt for him. I was sad, but he needs a good game. And I thought Leon said some really nice things, too, about, hey, he's aware. They're pumping him up. They're keeping him going. Marcus Shaver is still having a tremendous season. That's kind of what's funny. He's
not scoring quite as much, but he's doing much.
He's dropping 14 a night or so,
That's true. But the assists and the rebounds are still way up there.
Yeah. So, he's just a cool customer, too. You see him right there. He's going to come into the screen, BJ.
Yep.
No, he's a little off the screen. He's to the right.
Nice play-by-play there.
There he is. Here's Shaver.
Shouldn't they be wearing blue uniforms for the blue out? I know that's their road uniform, but if you're doing a blue out.
You can announce that, until Fresno, bring your whites. We'll go into blue out.
I would have thought that.
That's going to be the first question you should ask Leon tonight at the post-game presser.
Why you didn't wear blue?
Yeah.
By the way, before we get out of here, we had a suggestion. I know you've been at the forefront of talking about Leon Rice Court. On one of the shows, they said, how about the Rice family court? Because of what Max has done, you got Cade now.
Yes.
What the whole Rice family has done in terms of their impact on this program.
What do you
think of Rice family court?
I like it. I think that's probably more plausible than just Leon Rice Court. I think they would turn it into a family situation.
Leon would rather probably have family court.
100,000%. Leon would fight for that. Who else does family court? There's
got to be
there's 3 or 4 out there.
Is it not the Krzyzewski?
No,
family?
it's Coach K court.
Is it? I thought it has wife's name on there too.
Maybe. Well, I know UCLA. John and Nell Wooden, I believe her name was, and Leon Rice, maybe Leon Rice family court. So you get Leon's name on it.
You can still use his signature.
Yeah. Because do you want? And that's the other thing. Do you want the signature? Do you want the sig on the court? But that would be funny. Maybe someday.
That was I think it was either Jordan or Derek Morales had that suggestion, and I liked that. So
Leon Rice, I'll tell you this though: to get that, for that to become a reality,
yes,
you have to win an NCAA tournament game.
Okay,
be the first of this school to win a game in that tournament, and then when he retires, you can name this Rice family court or whatever you want.
Any final thoughts, Johnny? As we said, a game that doesn't necessarily help you, but you can't lose it. It's not a lot to gain, but a ton to lose. You got to just take care of business tonight, and you'd ideally like to win by at least 13, 14 points.
Another opportunity for this fan base to come together, cheer on a fun team to watch, get loud, and at Boise State, like I said, I just think if they play up to their standards, I think they're going to win this game. If they don't, maybe Fresno hangs around. I mean, we've seen a lot of games here, man, and it feels like sometimes when you think you know what's going to happen, that doesn't happen.
Yep.
So, I mean, who knows? Maybe Fresno gets off to a 13-2 start, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, playing a little catch-up here. Who knows what will happen, but it'll be fun. I think Boise State wins, though, sure.
Well, appreciate you, Johnny, as always. Again, full coverage coming up. We'll have the post-game show coming up, BroncoNationNews.com, all of our social media channels, the post-game show, interviews with players and coaches, highlights, analysis, all coming up about 30 minutes after the game ends. So make sure you tune that in. Don't forget, again, to download our new app, the Bronco Nation News app. We'd appreciate you to download that on the App Store or Google Play. Both of those are available for download now. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. You can do it right now. Knock it out before you get out of here. Just hit subscribe at the bottom of the screen. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. So, again, have a great rest of your night. We appreciate you for checking us out. And we will talk to you after the game on the post-game show. And then you can hear Johnny Prater, JP, Bob, the whole gang tomorrow, 3 to 6 on Idaho Sports Talk. So, Johnny, thanks, man. Referees taking the court. There he is, Eric Curry, best in the business.
One of the best in the country right now.
There he is.
Official right there.
There he
Glad
is.
to have
There
you on the call tonight.
And we'll talk to you after the game.
Who's talking to the ref
Fox-
live here
Fox-
on this, man?
Fox
That's really
Spo-
cool.
Fox Sports 1, 7 o'clock for the game. We'll be back on the post-game show. This is Bronco Nation News, the Lithia 4 to Boise pregame show. Take care, everybody.